You read the title right. Today I'm showing you 20 beginner bullet journal spreads, perfect for bullet journal newbies needing ideas and inspiration, as well as experienced journalers looking to simplify or mix things up. I'll be using 2 main supplies on each spread, 1 plain black pen and 1 colored marker, and I'll be using Crayola Supertips, which are a super affordable option, perfect for beginners and experienced journalers alike. I'm going to start off this video by showing you 2 types of future logs, which in my opinion is the first spread you should set up at the start of a new journal. A future log is simply a place to write down future events. For this future log, I'm showing you a simple horizontal layout. I divided the whole spread into 3 rows, each one 11 spaces tall, so that I can fit 6 months onto this spread. If you want your future log to fit 12 months instead, all you need to do is create another spread identical to this one for the next 6 months. Don't forget that you can start a new bullet journal any month of the year. Just start your future log at whatever month is coming up next. I'm putting a calendar for each month along the left side of the page so that I can highlight the dates with important events on them, things like birthdays, holidays, and important deadlines, and then jot these events down next to the calendar itself. I'm putting in some simple hand-drawn leaf decoration next to my monthly headers here, as well as some little dots for writing down all those events. Now this spread could totally be done here, but since stickers are my jam, and in my opinion, the perfect way to add easy decoration to any spread in your journal, regardless of your experience level, I thought I'd give each of these spreads a little bit of extra sticker flair at the very end. So I stuck in some plants here for my plants, books, and coffee sheet to finish off this horizontal future log. For another option, I'm going to move on to spread number 2 of the video and show you a vertical style future log that's just as easy to set up. This spread is going to fit 5 months, and instead of drawing in calendars for each month, I'm writing the dates 1 through 31 down the side of the page, which will give me a line for each day to jot down any events that are happening that day. I fit 2 months on the left and 3 on the right, and each month occupies a column that is 8 spaces wide. For simple decoration, I just drew in a heart in the upper left, and if you want a little extra decor, try sticking in a couple more stickers from that same sheet of plants, books, and coffee. So those are 2 types of future logs to start off your journal, so let's move on to another core bullet journal spread, the monthly log. Once again, I'm going to show you 2 different types of monthly logs, starting off with a classic calendar spread. Monthly logs are the backbone of most people's bullet journals, hence the monthly Plan With Me videos you see everywhere, and they're for keeping track of your monthly tasks and events. This one is going to be a big calendar taking up most of the spread, and each day occupies a 5x5 box. Now this is where I unfortunately lost some footage showing how I finished this spread, but I still am able to show you the final product, and I'm sure you can get the idea. I included a task list on the right as well as a little highlight section for good things that happened throughout the month, and I finished off the spread with some bee stickers from my Bees and Daisies sticker sheet. Part of the missing footage also included the creation of monthly spread number 2, which is a leaves and bees themed vertical style monthly log. I just listed 1 through 30 down the left side of the page, and then divided the rest of the spread into 4 columns, each one 11 spaces wide, for monthly events, tasks, bills, and a column for writing down your work schedule. All of the categories throughout this video are just examples, so feel free to change the categories to fit your specific needs. Next up, I'm going to show you 2 types of habit trackers, starting with this categorized habit tracker, and I promise this is the last spread missing any footage. For this habit tracker, I wanted to create something that could hold a lot of habits for anyone who's interested in really breaking down their day into every little habit they need to complete. I wrote the dates 1 through 30 on the top of the spread, and then drew in 2 large boxes below the dates, with the habits listed along the left, basically giving myself 2 separate habit tracking categories here. For this example, I split this up into personal habits on top, like stretching and meditating, and business habits on bottom, like answering emails and shipping out orders. But again, cater these categories to your own schedule. If you're a student, maybe one of yours would be academic habits. If you're a parent, one of these sections could be child-related habits. Either way, this tracker is ideal for someone who has a lot going on. You could totally leave this spread just with the simple marker decoration, or you could finish it off with some stickers like I am here with these firefly jars. This calendar style habit tracker is going to be completely different as it's only going to fit 5 habits total, ideal for someone who has a few goals they really want to focus in on, or for someone who might get overwhelmed trying to keep up with too many daily trackers. Personally, I relate a lot to that. I find that these scaled back habit trackers where you only focus in on a handful of core habits to be really useful if you're feeling especially stressed and overloaded. So here, each habit is going to get its own calendar where you can mark off the day on the calendar when that habit has been completed. Each habit here gets a row that's 13 spaces tall with a calendar that's 14 spaces wide by 10 tall. This spread looks simple and beautiful as is. You could totally leave it here. But of course, I'm going to pop in some final details with those same mason jar stickers from my Jars and Firefly sheet. And that's it for my 2 habit tracker spreads. I love how they're both so different, and I'm very curious which one appeals more to you. Let me know down in the comments. Switching gears now, I'm going to show you 2 different types of memory keeping spreads, starting with this monthly review spread. This spread here is going to focus in on 2 different sections, one on the left page for writing down memories throughout the month, and another on the right for gluing or taping in photos from the month. This is a really nice memory keeping option for anyone who might struggle with using their journal on a daily basis. Instead of a memory tracker that requires you to write something in every single day, this spread is a little bit more flexible, providing you with empty spaces to fill with memories whenever you please. You could even fill this spread out at the end of the month as a way to reflect on the month's memories. There's a lot of freedom here to use this spread in whatever way works for you, which I really love. Again, leave it here if you like the simple, minimal look, but I'm going to stick in some book stickers from my Bountiful Books sticker sheet for the finishing touch. If you want to purchase some decorative stickers to add this type of easy, instant decoration to your journal, don't forget to take advantage of that 50% off sale where all of these sticker sheets are just $1.75. With that, I'm done with this monthly review, so let's move on to another type of memory keeping spread that you can try out in your bullet journal. And this is one I'm calling my daily review and mood tracker. A daily review, also known as a 1-line-a-day spread, is simply a space to jot down a summary of each day throughout the month. And I'm pairing it along with an easy mood tracker to give a fuller picture of the day. This is a spread I used a lot when I first started bullet journaling, and it's especially useful if you ever have the feeling of days blending together, or if you're someone trying to make sense of mood fluctuations, if you have bad memory like myself and find comfort in reading a log of what you did throughout the last month, or if you're going through a time in life where there's so many milestones throughout the month to keep note of. Each day is going to get a row that is 2 spaces tall, so 15 days per page, and a box on the left will be colored in for each day with a color corresponding to your mood, and that'll be based on the mood key that I'm creating at the top. With spreads like this that encourage daily use, don't stress out if you don't find yourself being able to fill it out every single day. You can always try to backtrack and fill in past days when you get a chance, and it's also totally okay to just leave days blank that you didn't manage to fill in. Remember that there's no wrong way to bullet journal, and if something isn't quite working for you, you don't have to beat yourself up about it. Just take note of what's working and what isn't, adjust next month, and move on. Next up, I know so many people use their bullet journal as a tool for taking better care of their health. So I'm going to show you 2 types of health-related trackers that you can implement in your own bullet journal. This first one is what I'm calling an in-depth health tracker, which focuses on daily tracking for specific health habits, essentially like a specialized habit tracker. I'm using 4 simple icons to signify the 4 health-related habits that I'm including here: a little dumbbell for working out, a water drop for drinking 32 ounces of water in a day, a carrot for eating vegetarian the whole day, and some Z's for getting 8 hours of sleep. I'm going to fit 3 months on this spread, so this is going to work for keeping track of these health habits on a more long-term basis. and each month gets a column that's 8 spaces wide to fit my 4 habits. So as the month goes on, you just color in or cross off the habits you complete on each day. I knew that my sheet of fruit and veggie stickers from my farmer's market collection would be perfect for some added decoration, so I'm finishing these health trackers off with a rainbow fruit and veggie spiral in the empty space. With that, this spread is done, so let's move on to the second health-related spread that I'm going to show y'all today, which is one for simplified health goals and trackers. This spread is going to be a simpler, less intensive, and more flexible version of keeping track of health-related goals throughout the month. I'm making room for 4 months here. Each one gets a space that's 16 spaces tall. The idea here is that you start off with 3 goals for a month. For example, exercise twice a week, eat vegetarian, and stretch regularly. Then when the month comes to a close, you check off which of those goals you ended up accomplishing, and based on that, you reevaluate what goals you want to set for the following month. So if you failed to exercise twice a week, maybe you scale it back to 1 time a week for next month. Similarly, if stretching has become an easy habit for you to keep up with, maybe next month you can challenge yourself to a new goal like taking vitamins regularly. And on you would go month by month, adjusting your goals based on what new habits you solidified the previous month or what goals you struggled to upkeep. Once again, I'm finishing the spread up with some fruit and veggie stickers, and that is it for these 2 health-related spreads. Bullet journaling can be an amazing self-care tool. So next up, I'm going to show you 2 different self-care spreads that you can set up in your journal, starting off with the self-care ideas list. This spread is going to be a great resource when you want to fill some spare time in your day, on days when you're feeling stressed or anxious, and in any other time when you could just use some good old self-care but don't know exactly what to do. So this spread will have a categorized list with a whole bunch of self-care ideas, focusing on different things for your body and your mind for indoors and outdoors, so that this list is going to be good year-long regardless of the weather. Remember that self-care can mean a variety of different things. It can be things that will help you relax, like putting on a face mask or reading a book. Things that literally take care of your body, your mind, or your home, like exercising, going to therapy, or cleaning the house. It can be things that tend to your social life, like FaceTiming a friend or going out for coffee. There's a million ideas out there, and you can easily find more with a little Google search if you need. For my added sticker decoration, I'm using my Happy Whale sticker sheet to match the waves that I drew in, and that's it for this self-care ideas list. Now that we have a big list of a bunch of self-care ideas, I'm going to set up a self-care bingo and gratitude spread, which focuses on really being intentional about doing your self-care regularly throughout the month. So firstly, I'm going to put in a self-care bingo page on the left, which is essentially just a bingo square with 24 self-care items written in, and the goal is to cross off as many of these in a month as you can. So each box on my bingo card is 5 spaces wide by 5 spaces tall. And from there, I'm just going to start filling in my self-care items. This is where having a really extensive thought out list of self-care items on that previous spread would be really useful, because then you could just reference that when choosing these self-care items for the month. If you wanted to add some extra incentive to this page, you can also create some kind of prize to give yourself if you actually get a bingo. And that would be especially useful if you find it really hard to get yourself to practice your self-care regularly. Now on the right, I'm including a gratitude log with this self-care spread. I find that actively practicing gratitude is definitely a form of self-care, and it's something easy you can do throughout the month to make sure you're acknowledging the things you're grateful for. I'm just creating 8 blank spaces here to fill out throughout the month, and I'm going to finish this spread off with my whale stickers again for some added decoration. All right, 12 spreads in, 8 spreads to go. I'm now going to show you 2 types of brain dump spreads for your journal. A brain dump spread is basically anything you want it to be, but generally it's a catch-all space for extra notes, ideas, thoughts, doodles, whatever you find yourself wanting to jot down but don't quite know where it belongs. So this here is a super simple example. It's basically just a big empty space. I jazzed it up with some really easy splatters in the corners using the Crayola Supertip marker. And I also know that some people really don't like the name brain dump, probably because of the word dump. I get it. It makes sense. So if you need different ideas of what to call a spread like this, some alternative titles are an idea log, musings, notes and thoughts, or a write it down space, just to name a few. Now, of course, you could leave this spread simple like this, but I'm going to use my zodiac constellation stickers to jazz it up just a little bit, and that's it for my simple brain dump. Another way you can format your brain dump spread, and the way I personally like to use mine, is by categorizing it, which just gives it a little bit more structure and makes it a little bit more organized. When you've used a brain dump a few times, you get a sense for the type of things you use the space for. I personally always end up using my brain dump for financial notes and calculations, like adding up bills, things like book recommendations, and ideas for new sticker collections to create. So if you find yourself similarly using this space for certain things month after month, maybe consider giving it its own category. This categorized brain dump here has 5 different sections. Each one is 12 spaces tall. I also drew in some simple stars around the header for easy decoration. And of course, I'm finishing it off with some more optional sticker decoration with those zodiac constellations. Moving on from those brain dumps, I'm now going to show you 2 types of collection spreads that you may find useful in your own journal, starting with a spread called Things I Love. I love using my journal as a spot to keep track of books, movies, shows, and other things I consume throughout the month. So this spread is inspired by that, and it's a running collection for your favorite books, movies, shows, podcasts, music, products, and places. And each category takes up a spot that is 9 spaces tall. As usual, feel free to switch out these categories if these ones don't vibe with you. You could specifically have one for art supplies, for makeup products, whatever works for you and the things that you're into. I'm now going to add my stickers to this spread as the finishing touch, using the sunflower sheet to match the red marker. And that is it for the Things I Love collection spread. The second collection I'm going to show you is going to be a good companion to the previous one, and this is called Things to Check Out, which is going to be the perfect home for recommendations and other things you want to keep track of to try out in the future. I'm going to split this into 4 sections, each one 16 spaces tall, and I'm labeling them places, experiences, media, and products, keeping the categories very general so that this spread will work for whatever recommendations come my way. If I hear about a new restaurant I want to try out, write it down under places. Did a friend recommend that you get a facial for the first time? Write it down under experiences. Did a new show come out on Netflix and you don't want to forget about it? Write it down under media. And if you watched a bullet journal video on YouTube, let's say, and want to try out the supplies for yourself, write it down under products. And who knows, maybe once you try out the things on this spread, they'll be good enough to be added to the Things I Love spread. Weekly spreads are another core part of my bullet journal routine, and it's what I use week by week to keep track of all of my daily task lists and events. The first weekly log I'm going to show you here is a horizontal overview style, which splits the spread into 7 equal rows for the 7 days of the week, and each row is 5 spaces tall. I'm splitting these rows into 4 different categories to give a really nice overview of the week. The categories I'm using as an example here are to-dos, bills, events, and notes. And again, change up the categories to suit yourself best. Now you could totally write in your own weekly headers along the left, but I know a lot of people wish they had better handwriting or want to have fancier lettering in their journal. So I'm using a sheet of my weekly header stickers here instead. This sheet is only $1.75 right now and has 8 sets of weekly headers. It's perfect for beginners who want a little extra flair on their spread, but don't want to worry about writing in their own headers. Again, you could leave this spread as it is, or you can follow my lead and stick in a few decorative stickers. And here I'm using my painted floral sheet to finish up this weekly spread. Weekly spread number 2 is going to be quite different, and it's what I call a grid style weekly. All you got to do here is split the spread into 8 equal boxes by simply splitting each page in half vertically and horizontally. And this is definitely one of the easiest ways to split your page up to make room for the 7 days of the week. Unlike the last spread, which was categorized, this weekly spread is simply giving each day a blank empty space to write down whatever it is you want. I use these for my daily to-do list, which is why I put little to-do list dots, but you could also use this to write down a summary of the day, keep track of the weather or your workouts, write down your assignment due dates, whatever makes sense for your schedule. I'm once again using my weekly header stickers here for a super fast and easy setup and polishing it all off with some more of those painted floral stickers. And just like that, my 2 weekly spread examples are complete, and I'm ready to show you the final 2 spreads of this video, which are specifically going to be for students. Since I graduated college in 2017, it's been a good while since I've created a video specifically for student back to school spreads. So I thought I'd treat all of you students out there with a couple student-specific spreads that you can set up in your journal. This first spread is going to be a semester at a glance, which is going to have 3 main sections, one for important dates throughout the semester, another for class info, and finally a weekly class schedule. For the important dates, I created 5 rows for 5 months, and if your term is shorter or longer, just adjust it for however many months you need to keep track of. I put in a calendar for each month, and similar to the calendar future log, I'll just highlight the important date and write down the event in the space to the right. And this is going to be great for keeping track of midterms, finals, and important project deadlines. Now on the right, I'm splitting the page up into 2 columns, one for my class information and another for a weekly schedule. The class info section is a perfect place to write down your teacher's contact info and class location. And for the schedule, I created 7 boxes for the 7 days of the week, each one 5 spaces tall. I once again used some of these weekly header stickers here, and if you want some extra decoration, I'm using my sheet of watermelons and blossom stickers for a fun summer look. All right, we made it. This is the 20th spread in this video, which is going to be a running task list for school. While the last spread was more of an overview of the term, this spread is going to be a great way of keeping track of all the nitty-gritty assignments that you receive in all your classes by giving each class its own column for a running task list. I created this example for 6 classes, so each one gets a column that's 8.5 or 9 spaces wide, and that's basically it for the function of this spread. Each time you get a new assignment, write it down under that class's column along with the due date, and then check it off once it's been completed or turned in. This is a great way to have all of your assignments together in one place. You can keep this spread minimal like this, or you can throw in some extra sticker decoration like the watermelons I'm putting in here. And that is it for these 2 student-related spreads. Just like that, we've covered 20 relatively simple bullet journal spreads, perfect for beginners and experienced bullet journalists alike. I feel like this is probably the most useful video I've ever created and perfect for anyone needing a wide array of inspiration for their journal, newbies who aren't quite sure where to start, or seasoned pros who just want to mix things up and try out some new spreads. If you know anyone who's been wanting to try out bullet journaling, definitely send them this video and see if it gives them the nudge they need to finally get started. I really focused on making these spreads accessible with minimal supplies. All you need is a pen and a marker. And again, the stickers are a totally optional part just to show an example of how you can jazz up your journal with some easy, quick decoration. If you did like any of the stickers I used today, be sure to check out my sticker shop at PlanningWithKay.com, also linked in the description down below, and place an order right away to take advantage of the 50% sale happening right now to celebrate us having shipped out all of our open orders. This is the biggest sale of the year. You will not find these stickers any cheaper than they are right now. And I have over 50 different themed sticker collections, tons of functional stickers, instant digital download and printable stickers. There really is something for everyone over there. Every physical sticker order also comes with a freebie sheet, and if you buy one of my original paintings, I always send those out with a bunch of free stickers as an extra special thank you. With that, that's it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a like as it really helps out my channel. Subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss out on any future videos. And the links to my sticker shop, all of the supplies and stickers I used today, my Patreon, and all other social media are down in the description below. I'd like to give an extra special thank you to my patrons for supporting me this month, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.